Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, I just found out that Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years for sexually assaulting Andrea Constand. And I just want to briefly share my thoughts about this situation. Um, as you all know, I've done many videos stating my position. Well before the trial started, I said that Bill Cosby was probably guilty. Turns out he was convicted of this particular crime and he has been sentenced. This man, despite all these people trying to paint him as some kind of martyr or some kind of victim, he is not a victim. He is not a martyr. He's a sexual predator. And he should be sentenced. This sentence is fair, and more likely than not, he's not going to serve out 3 to 10 years. They're probably going to reduce his sentence. The sentence is fair because for a couple of reasons. First of all, just the nature of the crime. Second of all, because of pattern of engaging in this kind of activity. He's accused of being a sexual predator. Dozens of women have accused him of this. And the fact that he's some TV dad, that he was on the Cosby Show, or the fact that he gave money to black colleges and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't make him immune from criminal charges. That doesn't mean he's incapable of committing crimes. That doesn't mean he's some kind of helpless victim. This man had the best attorneys that money could buy. This man had the best resources that money could buy. And he was still found guilty at the end of the day after all the evidence was presented. This man is not a victim. He's a victimizer, and it's a good thing that he was sentenced. It is sad in terms of seeing this icon fall, but just because he's some TV celebrity, that doesn't mean he should not be held accountable. And a lot of people get it messed up. They think that because he plays this TV dad and all that kind of stuff, that somehow that exempts him, or somehow that means that he's not the one that did this stuff. There's some kind of conspiracy. And as I've said in my prior videos, one of the main things that people keep pointing to is the fact that he tried to purchase NBC way back in the 90s. And they basically try to use that as some kind of rationalization, say, well, he was trying to purchase NBC back in the 90s, and because of that, these people are conspiring against him to take him out. Why would they wait all these decades later, over 2 decades later, to try to get this guy locked up for a failed attempt to purchase NBC way back in the day? That makes zero sense. This man is not any kind of threat to the system or the powers that be. He wasn't no revolutionary or any of that kind of stuff. He didn't pose a threat to capitalist America, to Hollywood, or any of that stuff. So there's no real incentive for people to conspire against him. To believe a conspiracy theory, you would have to believe that all these dozens of women just happen to hatch up all these stories, make up all these stories, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. So, unlike these other people, I don't feel sorry for Bill Cosby at all. I think that this sentence was fair. And I think that instead of imagining a case of racism, we need to deal with the real examples of racism in this country. By hatching up and turning this into some kind of race case or whatever, some kind of case of racial conspiracy or racism, you are undermining your credibility as somebody speaking on these race issues by turning this man into some kind of martyr. Because when real racism is an issue, people will think that you are doing nothing but crying wolf. Because anybody saying that this Bill Cosby thing is a case of racism, you are in fact crying wolf. You're crying wolf. And I want to address one thing that people keep talking about. Like, they keep bringing up all these examples of all these white people who have engaged in similar activity, or who have been accused of engaging in similar activity. First of all, two wrongs don't make it right. Like, the mere fact, or the accusation that these other people got away with something doesn't make what Cosby did right. These people are suggesting that Bill Cosby should be able to get away with sexual assault or rape because these other people allegedly have gotten away with it. So that's one thing. And then another thing is this, man. I think that by bringing up that stuff, these other people, essentially what these people are doing is deflecting from the core issue, which is whether or not Bill Cosby should be sentenced, whether or not he's guilty, and all that kind of stuff. And the fact of the matter, he's been found guilty by a court of law. So that's not even in dispute right now. In terms of the sentence, again, that sentence is fair, given the fact that this man is accused of engaging in a pattern and practice, a modus operandi of drugging women, of sexually assaulting and raping women. And he has expressed no kind of remorse at all for any of the things that he has done. And the fact that he's old and all that kind of stuff should not, weigh against any kind of sentence that this man should get. So that's what I have to say about that. And obviously, I think that all sexual predators, all people that violate women should be held accountable and punished to the full extent of the law, regardless of their race, regardless of their wealth. And I do believe that, other people, these other celebrities that have been accused of this stuff, if there's evidence proving that they have committed these crimes, then they should go before a court of law and be judged and, tried according to the law. So that's not even an issue for me. And, this guy, again, is not some victim of institutionalized criminal justice, racism, or any of that kind of stuff. Again, he had the best lawyers, the best team, and still was convicted. So anyway, tell me what y'all think. I know it's going to be the haters. They're going to come out here and they're going to be thumbsing down this video and saying all kinds of stuff. But anyway, what do y'all think about it? Do you think the sentence was fair? Do you think that Bill Cosby should have been convicted? What do you think? And if you think it's a conspiracy, prove it. Show and prove that it's a conspiracy. The mere fact that a couple of people had made some inaccurate statements or whatever, given all the years that have passed, doesn't negate the fact that there are all these dozens of women coming forward saying that this man drugged them and raped them. So tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.